Hey everyone, it is your host Damian here from Hybrid Heroes, and this is the HYROX Heroes podcast, where we talk everything that you need to know when it comes to getting ready for your next HYROX race. Excited to have you here, and let's get into the episode. Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode of the Hybrid Heroes podcast, where we help people, we help you get ready for your next HYROX race. Now, today is going to be my shortest podcast ever, because I want to have an honest conversation with you today. I'm not going to ramble on too much today, because I want to talk a little bit about a framework that I use with myself. I use this with athletes, people I coach. I use this with the elite athletes. I use this with beginners, because we all go through mental health issues. We go through challenges. And that's why today I'm not going to dive too much into it. By no means am I a psychologist, but what I am is I'm a coach that's helped thousands of people. I've worked with thousands of people, literally over 18 years. And I have been able to see what motivates people. I've been able to see what blocks people, what stops them from progressing. And in no type of fitness, as the hybrid scene, the HYROX scene, have I seen a bunch of high achievers push and stretch themselves at very high levels all year round, 365. And what is becoming very noticeable, and you see it everywhere you go, is we have this culture of people just always switched on, always doing something. And even myself, as someone who's quite involved with a lot of our clients, our brand partners, events, competitions, it does get super challenging and it gets super tiring. And for a lot of people, we are caught in this. We're just chasing the next high. We're chasing the next result. We're chasing, the next run club, which, it's like, there is so much going on, and all you have to do is just go to your phone to just see someone crushing it, someone having fun, someone looking good, and it just makes you then go and reflect and go, well, what does that mean for me? If they're having fun and they're looking fit and I'm not, you might be on the start of your journey. You might be midway. You're not the end result yet. But if you just keep seeing everyone around you crush it, not only is training for HYROX a hard thing to do, but what is also so hard about this sport is the social environment around it, watching other people around you. And I talk about a lot, I've spoke about it on other podcasts, comparison theory, where people compare themselves to so many people. They're looking outwards and then reflecting back on themselves, rather than just going, looking inwards and going, how am I going? What am I doing? How am I making progress today? And being happy and excited inside, like internally, from inside out. Because again, social media, it just does that. It just shines a light on what you're not, potentially. Even when you go into the gym, you might not be the fittest person there, and you want to be fitter. You might look up to people. You look up to your coaches. You look up to people that are competing on elite levels, and there's a burning desire in you to want to be that and to want to be better. And maybe you're stuck in a job that you don't like, and maybe you wish you could train more, and maybe there's these things that are limiting you in your life. And then what it does is it creates a more negative sort of mindset around why you're not achieving what you want to achieve. So in today's conversation is going to be talking about a framework that's going to help you. It's going to help you understand how to continue to make progress. Because not only are people now, really, struggling with mental health, like it's on the rise, like people are, experiencing a lot more anxiety, overwhelm, stress, and we don't really have the tools. We don't really understand, what's going on. But also on the other side to that, like it's not the approach isn't always, and this is why I want to shine a light back on, because in this with these challenges, we then just go, it's okay, you're okay, that's fine. And we can be a little bit too soft, because some people aren't actually having a mental challenge, like a mental health challenge. They're having just a challenging moment. You could be someone that's just a bit tired. You're training hard. You're doing HYROX. You're running faster. You're lifting more. You're getting uncomfortable all the time. And that's good. That's what we love about this sport. That's what we love about training for HYROX, is who it's making us. We would not train for HYROX if you were going to become less of a person, less fit, less strong, right? Like, if it was going to make us worse, why would we do it? It's designed to make us better. But the only way to get better is through leveling up, through training harder. It's about getting out of your comfort zone, pushing and learning. And that is the road that everybody must take in order to make progress, in order to get new personal best, and in order to be that person that they are setting out to be. So we have to understand, and this is the framework. And I always bring it up with my clients, because there's always a point where they get stuck, where they come to a crossroad. And this is the question I ask them, is I'm like, okay, right now, do we need to be kind or do we need to be better? I'm going to say that one more time. Do we need to be kind or do we need to be better right now? So both of these questions, do I be kind or do I be better, is around helping you move forward to make progress. Because I have athletes, and you might be this person, that you might be dealing with something going on in your life. You might be also physically burning out. You might actually be overtraining. You might have work stress. You might have kids. There might be all of it at once, just on your plate at once. And then you're still feeling bad for potentially missing training. And you're there late at night wondering if I message the coach or message my friend saying, oh, I don't want to go train tomorrow. But you don't want to let them down. So instead of taking a day off, you go to training and you show up and you smile and you pretend that everything's fine. And you kill yourself again. You send it. Because that's what the power of the groups do, is they get you G'd up and you exert yourself. But then throughout the rest of the day, you're tired again and you're just burning out. And then eventually, you could lead to pulling out of HYROX. You could get injured. And what some people do as well is, if they constantly take this approach, is they can create a long-term habit, and this becomes a real toxic way for them to continue to train, which can have very long-term effects. So really, you just need to say to yourself, is this a be kind moment? Do I actually have legitimacy to be kind? Now, the thing is, and we're going to go through some steps on how to actually implement this, because sometimes you're the person that should not be answering this as well. Sometimes you need to get, an opinion. You need feedback from a coach, from people around you. And you need to ask. That's the thing that you actually need to do. We're going to talk about that a bit more. Now, on the other side of that, and this is where it's like, everything in life is equal positive and negative. There's always two sides to the story, right? It's not about me being like, you got to just relax and take it easy and, pat on the back, you're doing great. Sometimes the reality is, and this is sometimes the side people don't see from me unless you get really close to me, and you're going to get it a little bit. And sometimes you just got to be better. Like, sometimes you're just being soft. You're just getting uncomfortable. You're finally getting a little bit uncomfortable. You're finally pushing your body. You're finally doing the things that you need to do to make the progress. And then you start coming up with excuses. You start to hide behind, yeah, but I've never done this, and I'm really sore, and I'm really tired, and I've got a niggle. It's like, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you just need to be better. Now, be better doesn't mean just put up with the pain and go. No. Be better means I'm faced with a situation. How do I be better in this situation? So this might be a training session where you're midway and you want to give up. I was actually in a training session like this the other day. It was a 1 hour long session. I was 30 minutes in and it was fucking hard. And I was like, I'm just going to cut the reps. And I was on my own. It was actually a Saturday night. And I'm like, I'll just cut the reps a little bit. I'll make it easier. Why? Because I felt like I wanted it to be easier. That was the only logic I had. That was the only logic I have. Now, only you can truly answer yourself is, do you have situations where the only logic you have only makes sense to you because you're the one feeling it? In that situation, sometimes you just got to be better. So what did I do in that situation? Exactly. I lowered the reps. No, I became better. I said, Damian, like, you're fine. You've ate food, you're rested, you're just hurting in the workout. Just keep going, mate, and just see what you can do. That's what I said to myself. I didn't say, no, just don't listen and go David Goggins and, yeah, but who's going to carry the boats? I just said, just keep going. You got this. Just be better. And I finished the workout and I kept my pace and I smashed it and I felt so much better for doing so. And today was a rest day. So this was actually yesterday. It was a Saturday night yesterday. So today was a rest day. And now I'm being kind to myself today. So that's the thing. You got to know when to be better. So are you someone you're just like, you're a bit tired, maybe a bit niggly, but then it's like the be better bit isn't just now do better in the session. Let's look to the things that are putting you in that situation anyway. So when does performance or when does everything start to get challenging? Mentally as well. Well, let's look to your discipline, your structure. Let's look to all the other things that you are doing or not doing. So sometimes these people, and you could be going, I'm really tired, I'm burning out. Okay, how much sleep are you having? The other night I only got 5 hours of sleep. Or my sleep's been really bad lately, or I've been watching Netflix way too late. Like that there alone should be a thing for a podcast. Like the pandemic of people binge watching Netflix, going to bed too late, and then having like poor recovery, and then saying, this shit's hard. It's like, well, of course it's hard because you're not sleeping. Like, you know how much more energy you have when you get a good night's sleep. Now, I'm really sorry for the people out there who have kids and are like, I wish I could sleep. I really do apologize for this. But and you guys know, if you're in that situation, you have no sleep and you just got to get on with life, right? You still got to go to work, right? So there is energy. The body can do stuff, but sometimes it's just about doing the best you can. And for those people who do have parents and who have really disrupted sleeps, it's like, then this is where the be kind, be better framework comes in. Because maybe you literally had 2 hours of sleep and now you got a massive big session tomorrow and you didn't eat properly. And you know what I mean? It's like, be kind, just chill out a little bit. Just like, the world will continue if you miss that training session. But if you kill yourself, you might not. Like, you might bail out and you're going to quit. And then you're like, HYROX is not for me. No, it's just, we're not approaching the path forward in the right way. So I really want you to now grab this framework, right, for yourself. And it can actually be really good for your friends around you, because not only could you be going through this, but I'm guarantee you know someone around you right now who's cooking themselves. You know someone right now who is, they're a bit sad. They're almost depressed. And they're just talking negatively about themselves. And, I'm not that good, and I'm not that fit, and not as good as you. And it's just this spiral. It's like, whoa. It's like, hey, like, do we need to be kind to ourselves right now? Because being kind might be, hey, let's just like change the dialogue. Let's just change the story. Let's change the words that we're using about ourselves. Like, I'm doing good. I'm doing great. I'm making progress. I will do my best come HYROX. Versus just tearing yourself down. It's like, whoa, be kind. Be kind. I really want people to understand that sometimes there's nothing wrong with you. It's just, you're just hoping that you feel better. You just hope that by doing the same thing over and over again, that your emotions are just going to regulate themselves. Like they won't. You know why they won't regulate themselves? Because you're on social media, you're on Instagram, you watch marketing, you watch TV, you listen to the radio, you go into workplaces, you have people around you. You have a million things in your external environment that are trying to dictate how you feel and what you should think about. Think about that. That's crazy. So none of that. Marketing, most people's conversations are just talking about their problems. Everything in this world is geared to make you not feel better about yourself, unless you buy their product, right? So if you think about that alone, you need to take control of your thinking, and you need to start to consciously think and analyze what is going on so that you can understand how to take the best course of action to move forward with. Okay, so I really want you to now think right now, what am I dealing with right now? Am I feeling great? Is everything going good? Cool, I'm going to be better. Or am I actually burning out? I'm actually feel not that great in myself. And now I need to be kind. And how do you be kind? Start to think, come up with ideas, solutions. And if you don't know, I want you to go and ask someone for help. And another word to say help, because sometimes we don't want to ask people for help. Sometimes, we don't even we don't want to use that word even like there's something wrong, I need help. But what about feedback? Hey, I want some feedback. I'm feeling this way, I'm feeling a bit. Go to your coach. Like your coach loves it. You know what coaches love to do? They love to coach. So go to your coach at your gym or go to a gym that has a coach and just say, hey, I'm experiencing this. I'm a bit tired. I'm a bit burnt out. I may be doing this. Like, what do you think I should do? And that alone, they will give you insights. They will ask you questions. They will help you feel understood. So then I guarantee from that, you will feel better. You won't feel alone in your journey. You'll start to have more confidence in what to do, right? And then you can trust and lean into that process. And just like a good coach or a good friend also might do, is you might just say, hey, I'm going through this. And then even just hearing yourself say whatever it is you're about to say, sometimes you can even call yourself out and go, man, that's just an excuse. Like even that doesn't sound good to me. The saying I like to say is excuses only sound good to those who are making them. So sometimes, this is where we just need to be better. And I do so when I'm coaching clients, and especially like one-on-one clients, we have, programs and we have software and we get a lot of data. And, I love looking at data, not necessarily because I'm a data nerd. Like I'm by no means am I that into numbers. But what I really like about collecting data is it reinforces what I'm thinking, or it helps me understand, what's going on with the athlete. And when I see like athletes and, their numbers are dropping and their pace is slowing down and they're commenting like, oh, I was done the first 2 runs good, but, I gave up on the 3rd one. It's so obvious, right? Like you can probably even hear what's going on there. If we had a client, we had someone in front of us, and then in their check-in, energy is a 3 out of 10. Okay. Like I've been skipping meals. Oh, I've got like this big work thing on and it's stressing me out. Like, what do we say to that person? Do we just say, hey, Sally, toughen up? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We say, geez, what's going on here? Okay, we need to look at all this and we need to create some space. We need to get you, feeling, good again. We need to get the energy back up. We need to take this stress off a little bit. So then we can start to make some, solid progress again. And this might only be for a week or 2 because they've got this big stressful thing. And then after it, now they can they can, I was going to say screw their head back on, they can focus back on what they want to do. So you say it's only a 2-week thing. They're not falling apart. Nothing's wrong. It's just life. There's a lot of things go on throughout the week. But then also, we can see someone and, their numbers are great. Like they're running fast. Their recovery is good. Like they're ticking along. Like they're eating enough food. And then you set some targets and you're like, hey, like you've been running, kilometers at, let's call it 4:30. And the next week you've done all your intervals, your 1 kilometer intervals at 4:25. Then the next week you did 4:20. And it's like, this is the type of person that we're like, okay, we're going to set another target. Let's go for it. Be better. Like, let's just keep going. There is no reason to slow down. Yeah, but it's getting hard now. I'm feeling it's like, let's go. Let's keep leaning into it until we can see some negative signs that are telling us otherwise. So this might be you. Again, the signs that you might be experiencing just might be general tiredness. And again, these things won't come from physically breaking down. It might come from, and this is typically what happens too, when I see these people that are smashing it, and every week it's like great result, progress, and then they have a real off week, and it's like, okay, what happened this week? And straight away you can go, what happened here? And they're like, oh yeah, I went out drinking, I had a birthday party, or I got caught up, watching movies, or something happened. Like, it always comes down to something that happened. Like, that's why the numbers don't lie. Your performance doesn't lie. So I guess, these things, not to say you can't ever have one of these moments, but are you someone that fluctuates a lot? You have a good couple of weeks and then you have a bad week. You have a good couple of weeks and a bad week. And these bad weeks, if you reflect, always come from your lifestyle, from your sleep habits, your poor sleep habits. Maybe you're going out, you're drinking alcohol, you're doing expensive dinners, and eating a lot of like rich foods. And like, if you're not now progressing and you're online with your goals, guess what you need to do? You need to be better. You need to go to bed earlier. You need to drink more water. You need to weigh your food. Like, if you're not losing weight, and you're still, you got 5 kilos to lose and you're not losing it, it's not because you can't lose weight. It's because you're eating too much food. So sometimes it's a be better scenario. So come back to this framework. It's a really, really great framework. Now, if you're experiencing something that goes beyond this framework, if you really are experiencing, depression, and you're really struggling every single day, like you're just struggling to get through your day, please, please, please seek some professional help. You're more than welcome to reach out to me. You can do so via Instagram. You can do so on our website. You can reach out to me, and I will be there to help get you in touch with the right person. Absolutely. So again, I'm just a coach who's been doing this for 18 years, and I know that the majority of people, this framework works magic. It works magic. But if you need some serious help, absolutely, that is what, and again, that is not a weakness. That's actually a strength. If you're someone that can actually go, you know what, I need some actual help, and, what I'm dealing with is beyond what I can cope with, then, it is a true sign of courage to go reach out for that. So I really encourage that. So guys, I'm going to wrap this episode up there. I really hope that this has hit home and has really resonated with you. I actually struggled a little bit to do this because I know talking about this kind of subject can be a little bit touchy, but then I didn't want to shy away from it either, because I don't want to not be a voice that also shines a light on what I believe is really important to create a healthy culture of people that are mentally healthy, that are mentally fit, that can understand when they just got to pull it up, but also can understand when to push a little bit. And you just understand how to manage that fine line. It's called emotional regulation. And I really think that, everyone has that ability. It's just we need to talk about it a little bit more. And I really want to, share my experiences and my words and the things that help me and help my clients, because it could just be that simple. I really, truly know that sometimes it can be that simple. Sometimes it can be a bit more complicated as well. Totally understand that. So anyway, guys, lots of love to you all. Keep training hard. Be kind or be better. Know which one to use. And I will see you at a HYROX real soon.